Tired of cold calling? Introducing Lucia, the easiest, most accurate way to prospect. Simply sign
How's it going? How's it going, guys? How are we all doing? Morning. Sorry, a little bit late this morning. Got a little bit caught up in doing a few things. Let me just get the audio sorted here. So I'm getting some stuff on Streamlabs saying it isn't right. So I'm just going to quickly post this on Instagram, guys. 2 seconds. Then we'll get into breaking down the charts and everything. Sorry about this. What's up, Seems? What's up? How's it, Sharif? How you doing? Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Sorry, I was just posting that link on Instagram. Captain Fab, how you doing? Happy New Year. Hope we all had a great holiday, guys. A great break as well. I had a really good time. Traded a little bit, probably shouldn't have, but you know, sometimes these opportunities come up. Okay, so gonna do, yeah, I'm really good, thanks, seems really good. Feeling ready to go this year for sure. I'm going to break down GJ top-down analysis and gold, guys, as usual, and then we can see what we're looking at for London Open. What's up, Luke? Please also let me know if the audio is alright, guys, because it says on my stream, on my live dashboard, that the bitrate on the audio is lower than the recommended. I haven't touched anything. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so yeah, Happy New Year's, Luke. Happy New Year's. Let's get to the breakdown. So we also have a monthly candle close in this case to check for GJ. Obviously, it's a new month. You can see how strong bullish last month was. Very strong. We did close, however, on a monthly resistance level. So we obviously got to take that into consideration. This is a very strong level. You can see when we came to this level beforehand, this is exactly what happened. We rejected that area. Same as these monthly support levels. So this is kind of like a monthly range that we're in at the moment. Obviously, within that range, you're going to be able to find a lot of moves, but it is important to remember that we could reject this level and start moving down, or if we break above these levels, we could start moving up to maybe fill that monthly wick. Just going to have to wait and see. Weekly, you can see we're strong bullish on weekly. Last week was a really strong week. We came above this weekly resistance level, closed above it. Now I do see a possibility of us testing this weekly resistance level, but obviously within here we're going to have a lot of rejections, a lot of lower time frame resistance. You can see weekly wicks are never nice to trade into. That's why trading into like these weekly clean bodies was really easy. Some nice easy buys, to be honest. Then we're gonna go, you can also see on the weekly, by the way, we have created our bottom wick. So if we break the high of the previous weekly, there is a good chance of that bullish continuation. Daily, yesterday, kind of formed this weak resistance. It's not really strong. We are at a previous level of resistance, so you can see that over here. So we gotta obviously be aware of that. If we can come above this level, I suppose we could trade into here, but again, quite choppy price action on the daily, as you guys can see. But what I'd be looking at is obviously buy continuations. I think we're very bullish in market structure at the moment. Again, this is still our high, and this is the point which created it, so we'll only be bearish below here. So kind of at the moment, this is going with the overall trend of being bullish. So that's what I'm looking at on the daily. Go to the 4 hour. You can see if this will let me move it, we aren't really looking too good on the 4 hour. What ended up happening was we created this 4 hour high. So we're moving up. We created this 4 hour high, came back down, rejected this previous level of support. So this was a really good buy entry from the lows down here to retest the high and create new highs. So I think at the moment we could be in that process of creating that new high above this level. We're going to obviously need a break above and then start doing, you know, something like that, uptrending market. But basically what I would have marked out is the top of this as my resistance, and then, you know, we'll look for some low time frame support levels within these 4 hour candles. If we look left from here, you can see we have a resistance level coming up to the left over here. So we do have some clean candles to trade into on the 4 hour. It's not ideal, it's not a lot at all, and price action definitely isn't looking the best, but we can make something happen. If we go to the 1 hour, you can see we've just formed support now, trying to break below that support. Again, this is, in my opinion, very counter trend. I wouldn't be interested at all in taking these sorts of sells below this level to fall or this range, even though we have clean candles. It's just too counter trend. I have a 4v0 bias, you can see on the 30-minute. Yesterday we did flip bearish. This was our high. This was the point which created the high. We got that close below there. So we were bearish for like a little bit, because then when we came above this level over here, we were bullish again. So that's why buys above this level would have been nice and easy, because we would have had that 4v0 market structure. So sell wise, if you want to take any sort of risky sells, I'd say you're looking below this range. We have clean traffic to the left, so you could probably come down to this 155, 518 area. Buys, I'll be looking for buys above 156, 010. 4v0 buyers market, guys, as well. Very important to note. If you guys have any charts or questions, please do send them through. I'm just going to put here 4v0. If I could spell, that would help. Okay, so we're in a 4v0 buyers market. Potential buys. I know these are risky, guys, because I've looked at the price action on the left. It's not great. But I'd say potential buys above 156.010. $156, yeah. Also, 156 is a very strong key level, guys, so important to be aware of that. And then potential risky sells below 155.786. So that's what I'll be considering. Very unlikely that I take the sells. I'm just going to obviously look and see what the candle formations are like. So that's our situation at the moment, guys. Obviously, you can see we tried to come below this level over here, rejected it. So what we could be doing is forming support at this previous level of support, and then that's going to be the start of our move up, and then eventually we can get that overall push to the upside and continuation. I'm also going to break down a gold buy which I took last night. I set buy stops before I went to bed. Very risky, to be honest. Not something I normally do, but because of the candle formations and we were on a 4-hour support level, made a lot of sense to me, and yeah, lucky enough it worked out. I did post that on Instagram if anyone is interested. If anyone else also has charts, please send them through. Are you taking buys or sells for GJ? I'm gonna wait and see what the candles show me, but I'm in a overall, I think we're in a buyer's market. My structure at the moment, as you can see, is 4v0 bullish. So I think there's a lot more buyers overall present in the market than there are sellers. Meaning that I want to be on, the right team's side as such. So the buyers team, because there's more of us in the market. So I'll be looking more so for buys above this level over here. Sells will probably come below this level, but it's going to, again, like I said here, it's going to be counter trend. So we could probably reject at this level right here. So buys. Good morning, Wayne. Happy New Year's. All the best for the new year. You too, you too. We got Vivek in the chat here. So yeah, guys, if you are interested in taking sells below this level because of the clean candles on GJ, just remember that these are levels that we can definitely reject at. The previous level of resistance, if you're going to take those sells, can turn into a new level of support to continue, basically create that higher low and then move up to create the higher highs. So you could get something like this where you're in the sells and then you see you get your higher low, and then you see you're creating higher lows. This was our first higher low, and then that's what an uptrending market does. And the places where you create these higher lows, you can see here we had resistance, support. So resistance often will turn into support in an uptrending market, which is why trading the clean candles with a counter trend trade, you don't often look at breaking the support and going to this level of support. Often you'll look at breaking the support and going to this level of resistance, if that makes sense. Okay, let's go to gold. Because gold at the moment I think is looking a little bit cleaner than GJ. Also, we can check out the monthly, because the monthly is going to tell us a lot. You can see on the monthly, we closed strong bullish last month. The month of December was a very bullish month. Some easy buys. We obviously formed support at a previous, or around a previous level of support. You can see we came down, wicked down and rejected that support level on the monthly. We also ended up having a strong body close above this body resistance level, meaning that now if we break the high of the previous monthly candle, we can definitely come and fill this. We can possibly even test the previous support above, previous resistance above that level. So that's what I'll, just analyzing the monthly, that's what I can see from that. Weekly, we're obviously bullish in market structure. You can see we have these clean candles to the left. So if we can basically do what we did last week, form this bottom wick, break the previous weekly high, we can continue bullish, maybe come up to this level, which is that monthly wick. Pretty important to note though that it can take a lot of time on the weekly for things to play out. So basing trades on the weekly time frame, I've done it once. It was a GJ swing trade, played out nicely, but yeah, very risky. On the daily, yesterday was a very bearish day. We are still bullish in market structure on the daily. This is our high, point which created the high. We didn't get a candle close below that level, so we are still bullish. You can see here we are basically at a level of daily support. So what could end up happening is if we break the previous daily candle low, we could come down to this support level. But if we respect the support level, then we can move up to basically retest this high, because at the moment we're also forming higher lows and higher highs in this little move up. Morning, John. Happy New Year's to you too. Hope you had a great New Year's and a great festive season and ready for the new year. So yeah, bullish on the daily, guys. Very strong bearish yesterday though, the daily candle. This is where I took the trade this morning on gold. So what I was looking at is obviously we came down. I still had us in a bullish market, even though of how strong yesterday's daily candle was bearish. Overall, I still had us in a buyer's market. So what I was looking for was for us to come down to a level of support and basically buy from that level because we're in that uptrending market. So you can see here we came to this level of 4-hour support. We then formed support at that level. So my idea was, okay, now if we break the high of the support candle, which subsequently also respected the low of the previous candle. So again, that candle terminology and that candle knowledge I always tell you guys about, the formations, that was a big confirmation for me, respecting that low. What that tells us is that the seller's pressure is dying out and there's more buyer's pressure coming into the market. That being an uptrending market and being on a 4-hour level of support, this one over here, meant that if we broke this high, there would be a good chance that we could continue bullish a little bit. So I took the buys at the break of the high over here for that bullish continuation, got about 20 pips out of it, and that was I just closed the full position. Well, I had a TP set at that position. So it was a buy stop set overnight. I wasn't really, micromanaging the trade, but I obviously had a set level which I was comfortable with, and then my TP was at, I think I said at 20 pips because we did have some clean range on the lower time frames as well. So yeah, it played out really nicely. There's a daily closure below support yesterday on gold. Not a good sign of a bearish continuation. Yeah, so that's one thing I was looking at, but what you can also take into consideration here is we are in all these daily wicks at the moment. So for that, you got to be aware of we can reject anywhere in this level over here. The body close below the body support level does mean that if we break yesterday's daily low, I definitely think we will get that bearish continuation for sure. Because what that'll also start doing is flipping some structure on the minor time frames. And let me just see on the 4-hour, that'll also be our structural flip on the 4-hour, because this is our 4-hour high. This is the point which created the 4-hour high. So if we get a candle close below this level, which will then also result in that break of the daily support level, then we can definitely continue bearish. So yeah, I'll be looking for sells if we can get below yesterday's daily low. That's what I'll be looking at. So this level over here, you can see we closed strong bearish yesterday. So my 4-hour buy was basically based on the fact that, the way that I look at market structure, we're still in a bullish market overall. We're at a 4-hour level of support, and then the candle formations, respecting candle lows, not respecting candle highs. That tells us straight away that there are buyers present. So yeah, what I'll be looking at today, obviously, as you can see, we're forming this 4-hour range at the moment. Not a lot of volume at the moment on gold, but you can see that we have this, which if we drop down to the lower time frames, is going to be like a range. So yeah. So on the 1 hour, you could possibly be looking for sells below this level to basically retest the support level. And then you obviously have these clean candles on the 1 hour to the top side. So if we do break out the top of this range, you could maybe see us start continuing a little bit bullish. One thing I did notice about the daily candle is it doesn't have a bottom wick. And you don't see that too often on daily candles where it doesn't have one wick. So at one point, it could come down and create that bottom wick. And in that case, this will be our retest of this zone, and then that continuation bearish. So that's what I'll be looking for on gold if I want to sell it. And yeah, at the moment, we are just range on gold, so I'm not too interested in trying to take any trades on gold. I want to see a close above one of these levels. Anyone in the Telegram have any charts for me? Zeems, where are your charts? I have not seen a Zeems chart in a while. And if anyone has any questions about the reasoning behind wanting to buy or sell gold, please ask. Or GJ, for that fact. So yeah, I would say on gold, we are looking for potential buys above 1807. Yeah. 0.47. at the moment, I feel like this is a no trade range, and I wouldn't trade this range. I hate trading ranges. So I'd say potential sells. Let me check how many pips this is. About 20 pips, so it's not too bad. Potential sells. $1803.22. Dropped out to 30-minute, that's also going to be clean candles over here. So load this. You can also see the problem with the buys at the moment, guys, above this level, is that we have a resistance level right here. So these long rejection wicks, this resistance level, we could reject anywhere in this area. Whereas if we get above that level, you can see the candles are a lot better to the left. So that's going to be a lot easier to trade in. The price action was clean coming down, meaning that we're going to look for that clean move back up. That's how we look at price action. And then below this level, again, it's going to be tough trading into this. We obviously have a little bit of clean range below, I would say 1798. We have about 20 pips of clean range below this level, so we could look for further sell continuations below 1798. We do need to remember as well though, guys, 1800 has historically been a very significant level on gold, which is why whenever we get to this 1800 level, we start stuffing around a lot. You can see that all over here. We come to 1800, we start sitting on 1800 for a couple of days, and then we make a strong impulse move in the one direction. So that's why it's very important when you're around this 1800 level to wait for the candle confirmations, because it can mess up a lot. We are moving up on GJ, which is great to see. This could be our catalyst candle. Do talk about that a lot. Which then what we end up getting is this strong push, wick down, and continuation. Price action wise on the 30 minutes, you'll see the candles aren't very clean to trade into on the left here. We do have obviously clean candles up to this 156, 105 level, but it's not the biggest range. So I'd be a little bit careful with that. It's only 9 pips away. This is where our first rejection level could be. And now obviously we're getting that strong push already. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm not interested at the moment in taking the impulse entry. My stop loss would have to get a technical level, which would be below here. So for me, that's too big a stop loss, especially with such a small range to trade into. So what I'd rather wait is for this move to happen, pull back, and then continuation, and I'll catch the buys on the continuation. Looking at the daily, you know, we've broken yesterday's daily high, so looks pretty good. We are coming into maybe fill this daily wick, so get to the top of this resistance level, and then we could start rejecting there and moving down to then further continue bullish. Just got to be aware of the higher time frame resistances and supports. You can see how much we've already moved on GJ. So I just want to see what London Open does. Also rejecting again that 1807.47 level on gold, so that's not doing too much. Got in earlier at 155.479 and scaled at 155.903. Faced for candle pressure. Yeah, I mean 479. That is a really good entry. 155.479. That's all the way down here. To be honest, these 4-hour buys after respecting this 4-hour support level made a lot of sense. You know, scaling in above these levels over here, which I think this is where you say you got in around 479, made a lot of sense. At the moment, yeah, I just think we are super, super bullish on GJ, guys. So I'm not really interested in taking any sells at all. Even if that means at the end of the day, you know, we end up having a strong bearish push. You can see we had a bearish day yesterday. The daily candle yesterday closed bearish. But that doesn't mean that we're in a seller's market now. We're still in this overall buyer's market. So what then we want to do is find, okay, now that we've had that strong bearish push, how can we scale in and get positions back up to the top and retest those highs? So for me, that would have come to a structural flip level. So this is where we would have flipped bullish again. And then you can see here, we had all these clean candles to the left. So we'd have been able to retest this resistance level. You can see we did form some resistance there, and now we're starting to move up again. Now we are respecting support levels. We're still in that overall market. So you can see here, basically that higher high, higher low sort of trend. What time frame do you use for your bias? 4 time frames. So the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour, and the 30-minute. Gotta use multiple time frames because one time frame will never give you a valid bias. And if you have an equal bias, what I've noticed recently is if you have a 2v2 and you look at the current daily candle, that'll kind of give you then your decider. Good morning, Stanley. Happy New Year. Retest 96 and push with London Open. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to see a retest of the zone and a bullish continuation. Hopefully we get that strong buyers. I really do want a strong push for this London. Let me check some news that we have today. I did think that I saw a little bit of news coming up today. Yeah, so we have some USD news. Very low impact pound news. So not even bothered about that. I'd be more worried about this, but again, this is also after New York Open, so not going to be too worried, to be honest. Nothing too crazy. I'd love to see a pullback and then that continuation. As you can see, though, we are this white line here represents a previous level of resistance on the 30-minute time frame, and we know how 30-minute time frame resistances are often respected, as well as 30-minute time frame supports. 15082 was my original position, but I closed after. Yeah, I mean, that's a problem with long-term holds, though, is it's very hard to know when to pull the position and when to hold it. That's why, for me, it's just a holding percentages of the position. So I'll just scale out. And then, I mean, I still have a GJ trade which is over 600 pips up at the moment. A runner which is 600 pips up. Around 500, 600 pips. But it's 0.02 lot. The original position was a 15 lot. And I've scaled out so much, it's at a 0.02 now. But yeah, that was definitely I think my best trade of last year, for sure. Morning, Troy. Yeah, I had a great Christmas, thank you. I hope you did as well. Hope you had a great New Year's too. Ready to take on the year. We have a minute and a half, guys, until London Open. Still getting some Euro news in here. Nothing, again, nothing too hectic. That's amazing, thanks, Sharif. I'll post it on the Telegram for you guys. It's I actually have 2 runners in, so one is up about 200 pips and the other's up, I think, 500 pips. Again, both very small. One's a 0.2 and one's a 0.02. Both from quite high lots, so 10 and 15, I think, around there. Gold, I think on gold, guys, honestly, trading this range over here is just not going to work out. So I'd stay far away from gold until we establish, which direction we're probably going to stick with for today. And a good idea of that is if we start moving down on the daily candle here. So if we start getting below these 1803 levels towards that 1800 flat level, I think there is a good chance of some sells playing out. I'd also look at the 4 hour. 4 hour is going to tell us a lot, because if we start forming some bearish candles over here, that'll kind of be like our lower high, and then we can see that continuation. So the 4 hour is probably going to tell us the most about gold for now. Okay, open up the GJ candle. Yeah, I think it's a tough one because you can see the price action that we have to the left here. It's trading into wicks at the moment. So I don't know, maybe sitting this one out. I know obviously it's a very high volume time, but you know, if you don't have the setup you want during London, sometimes that's what New York is there for. Dollar's been so strong, making gold hard to trade. Yeah, dollar's been very strong recently, especially yesterday. If you just look at the gold daily candle, it just went on a burner. GJ buys make sense, but again, for me, just trading into a rejection area. But I definitely do see why it could continue this bullish push. This is also known as a catalyst candle, guys. So basically what that tells us is it often gives us a bias for London. So you can see we're ranging, and then we had this catalyst candle, which showed us, okay, now there's a lot more people in the market, a lot more buyers at that, because you can see it's a strong bullish candle, broke through a bunch of resistance levels, meaning that, okay, the bullish continuation is very likely. This is where your stop loss level should obviously be, below the current candle, and then entries would have been above after the wick down, and then once it flipped bullish and broke the previous 30-minute high. So far it's moved almost 10 pips. Did you take the trade? I didn't take the trade. I took a gold buy this morning, so I'm not really I'm not trying to rush into any trades or try take any risky trades. I took a really nice gold buy. Not my sort of setup at all, this, especially like I said, guys, with this choppy price action to the left. If this was clean candles, I would have taken this trade 20 times out of 20. Because we basically had these rejection wicks, I wasn't interested at all. You can see we're also rejecting this resistance level at the moment. Trading is definitely about picking your opportunities, you know, correctly, guys. You don't want to do something that you're not comfortable with, especially if you've already taken a win. You can see now you would basically be back at your entry level. So straight rejection from this 216. Trying to see what gold's up to. Nothing much. Did anyone in chat take the GJ buys? If so, hope you did secure some profits. Yeah. I mean, it moved all of 9.5 pips. Not really the best. Been in GJ since 654. Okay, so you also got the nice early entries. Yeah, this is exactly where I was thinking that this unfortunately was, you know, midnight my time. So definitely wasn't able to get any of these entries, or not midnight. This is actually 4 o'clock in the morning my time. So it wasn't awake to take any of these, but for me these buys made a lot of sense. Clean candles to the left, this is where your structure flip level would have been. So now 4v0 bullish in market structure. So yeah, definitely a really confident buy level that. This thing's freezing again. If we are looking for further buys on GJ, guys, what I would be looking for is obviously now we've had this sort of strong bullish push. Let's wait for us to come down to a level of resistance or support. Again, this is my favorite type of entry. I always talk about it on stream. It's basically retesting a high or a low. So in this case, we'll be retesting the high. So hopefully we can form this high, maybe at a level of resistance. And then we can come down to a previous level of resistance, turn it into support, or come down to a previous level of support, form support at that level, get the right candle confirmations, and then buy back up to the highs to retest the highs and then possibly create new highs. That's what I would be looking for, especially when I miss an impulse entry. So that's one thing that keeps me away from having that FOMO of, okay, I need to take this trade, is I know that I'll be able to get that basically that same push, but from even a better price, to be honest. So if this was going to be my original entry at this point over here, I know eventually price is going to come back down and retest the level of support or resistance, and then I can scale in back up to the highs, and in that point case I'm getting it at these levels, which is 0.62 as opposed to 135. So that is buying at the lows basically in an uptrending market. So to retest the highs, same would work if you want to retest the lows. Just wait for a retest of a level of resistance or support, and then wait for resistance to form at those levels, and then sell down to the lows. I hope that does make sense. So like this move at no FOMO at all. Couldn't care less if it pushed now 100 pips, because there'll be plenty more moves. But yeah, well done to anyone who did take this trade. It should have done it, or it has definitely done 10 pips about now. Yeah, so at this point I would be looking at securing a little bit, probably stop loss at break even as well, so that just taking your trade for the day, can call it a day if you are one type of trade a day type of person, or for your next trade of the day you can lower your risk so that you're not risking too much of the profits which you've made from this trade. And obviously, if you're securing profits at this stage, you'd want to keep a little bit of a runner in to hopefully make you a little bit extra. If you were also wondering where would your stop loss be in a trade like this, it would be under the current 30-minute candle. So basically what that wick down doesn't just tell us, okay, we've retested that zone, it also gives us a technical level for a stop loss. Because you should never be breaking the current candle low if you've already made such a strong push. You should never come down and break that low, because that'll often indicate, okay, we're going to pull back a lot more. That's why candle lows and candle highs are very technical stop loss levels, rather than just saying, okay, I'm going to shove my stop loss here, or halfway even up the candle. So the potential buys above 156.010 played out. Did not take them though, guys. I did not. News-wise for the rest of the week, we are looking at, again, NFP week, guys. So on Friday, we have NFP coming. Anyone who trades fundamentals knows that this is the event of the month. The last NFP was very disappointing. December's NFP was pretty terrible, to be honest with you. Didn't move much at all. But previous ones have been amazing. I've had some really nice NFP results before, which they can change a whole month. but they can also ruin your whole month. So you do need to be careful with that. We have the ADP on Wednesday. So that's kind of like a mini NFP type thing. So also be aware of that. Historically, price has moved quite a lot when these figures come out. They're also expecting, you know, lower numbers than before. So just be aware of that as well. But that forecast is often wrong, as I say all the time. Especially with such influential news events. These numbers, I'm pretty sure they just pull them out of their ass, to be honest with you. I don't know where they get them from. If you are into fundamentals or want to get into fundamentals, there's this guy called Capital Hungry. He's probably the best fundamental trader I've ever seen. And he looks a lot further and deeper into fundamentals. You know, that's his main approach to trading, whereas I'm more technical. But I do have that decent understanding of fundamentals to know how to trade fundamental sort of events and news and stuff like that. But if you want to become more of a fundamental trader, I would certainly say check out Capital Hungry. Very, very good trader. Still no charts in the Telegram. If you guys have any pairs as well that you want me to check out, I'll be more than happy to do that too. Just look at the high time frames as well though, guys. This liquidity provider isn't the greatest. I'll go to the other one so that we can look at what we could be seeing basically on the weekly and monthly on these pairs. Is on the monthly, what I'll be saying is, okay, we are at obviously a resistance level on the monthly. That would be this over here, if I can select this. So we can do one of two things here. We can obviously respect this resistance level, which we've done before. This was our monthly resistance, and this is where our monthly range started forming. We've been respecting the bottom of this range, so the monthly support levels and the monthly resistance levels for the past, this must be, yeah, since March 2021. So if we are eventually going to get a break out of this monthly range, we'd obviously need to see us go to 158, and then there's a very, very good chance that we're going to get up to 160. Very good chance of that. We're obviously going to need to see a lot of continuous good news if we're talking fundamentals on the pound, which is very unlikely because of historically how we've seen the pound look. But yeah, if we're looking technically, we should probably reject this area. But we have formed a monthly bottom wick, so let's see, we could come up and fill this wick and basically get up to 158, which wouldn't be too bad either. We've just also broken the previous monthly high. I think it was with, it must have been with today's candle. Yeah, so today's candle broke the previous monthly high. Are you looking for buys or sells on gold? I am looking for potential buys above 1807, because if we look on the 1 hour time frame, that'll be above this 1 hour kind of consolidation. If we can get a candle close, I'm very, very wary of this rejection wick over here. But I think with us being at this 4 hour support level, there's a good chance that we could see some bullish continuation over here. I did take buys at this level at the break of that 4 hour high, and then secured at, it was plus 20 pips. I did put that on my story. So there's that. But then if we look on the daily, if we come down and break this daily low, because you can see yesterday's daily candle closed below this daily support level. So if we break yesterday's daily low, we're definitely going to have that bearish continuation. Hey big bro, hey Dex, how are you doing? Happy New Year's, my boy. So looking for both buyers and sells. I have a very strong, actually it's a 50-50 buyers, sellers, bias at the moment. To be honest, we are still bullish on the 4-hour time frame, guys. So this is our 4-hour high. This is where our 4-hour high was created. We need to close below this level to basically be bearish in 4-hour market structure. So that's why I felt like buys yesterday made sense. Or not yesterday, sorry, this morning. I had a buy stop set overnight. We formed support at this previous level of 4-hour support. Respected candle lows. Didn't respect candle highs. That's an indication that sellers' pressure is dying out. Buyers' pressure is coming back into the market. That's why buys above this level made sense. Could at the end of the day just do this though. So that's why it wasn't a long-term buy. It was short-term. Good and you, my king. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's, Declan. I'm very good, very good. Didn't get the buys on GJ this morning, but got some nice buys on gold last night. So if we look structurally, if we go by pure technical structural analysis, we're still bullish on gold. Believe it or not, even after yesterday, well, overall, should I say bullish on gold, even after this strong bearish daily candle. But if we start coming below these 4-hour levels, so this 4-hour level over here, which is where we created our 4-hour high from, then obviously that's going to be our level of structural flip to bearish. And in that case, we're going to have an overall bearish market structure, making sells a lot more probable. And then that also plays with the break of the 4-hour, the daily low yesterday, which, like I said, that will then give us a daily top wick, break of the daily low, so our daily candle will look something like that. And then we can maybe fill this wick or come down to these levels. Also need to take into consideration it is NFP week. And gold during NFP week likes to play with people's accounts. So rather just wait for some very strong candle confirmations. Dix, what are you on about? Idiot. GJ still maybe nicely. My name is Bird. Yeah, Troy, I don't know what Dex is. Dex is on about. Did you get to the NY party thing on the 1st? It was actually on the 30th, Dex. There was 2. Pasha. It was on the 31st and the 1st. I went to the New Year's one. I don't know how people can go out on the 1st if they had a big New Year's. Like, there's an actual bird outside my window right now, making some noise. Dex, are you drunk? What are you saying? Everyone in the tattoo field knows me as Bird. Why is that, Troy? That bird sounds funny. It's a, I think that's a hardy though. I don't know if they are anywhere else in the world but South Africa, but they make a proper noise. Oh, you're a tattoo artist, nice. They annoying, yeah. Ugh. Been tattooing for 27 years. Did you say you're from the US or Australia, Troy? I forget. I think you said Australia because you said you can't trade, or it's quite late for you. Or maybe you said you're from yeah, US. 27 years. If I come to the US anytime soon, I'm coming to get a tattoo from you. I got one at the moment, and that's it. Dex is not even a wolf, so I don't know what you're on about. 3:30. Yeah, exactly. It's an hour. What parts of the US are you from, Troy? Indianapolis. Sorry, my US geography is terrible, so I'm trying to. What is that close to? State-wise, which other states? Because yeah, my US geography is shocking. Most populous city of the US, state of Indiana. Okay. Did I show you my tattoo? I've never ever seen your tattoo, Dex, and I still don't think you have a tattoo. I'm in Indiana. Okay, below Michigan. So does it get pretty cold where you are? Or because doesn't it snow in Michigan? Again, I could be completely wrong. My my US knowledge is shocking. Freezing, yeah, I thought so. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it snows by Michigan, so. My sword bedroom bully. Dex, bro, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you are on about. Sorry guys, not much Forex education going on here. Talking about geography and, I don't know, Dex is seemingly drunk. This was basically the move of the morning. This buy above this level, and then looking now, to be honest, if we're just gonna continue bullish without much of a pullback, levels I would obviously be interested in are gonna be above here. So the reasoning behind that is obviously because we got the clean candles to the left. You can see that we would have broken above this resistance level, and then we can obviously come up to the previous level of resistance above that marked out resistance level. So what we'll be looking for is a candle close above 156.498. The reason why I don't want to take any trades before this level over here is if we look to the left over here, we have a lot of choppy price action. So we have resistance, resistance, resistance. There's no range to trade into, whereas here we have resistance, lots of trading range, and this is our next resistance, or our previous resistance above our marked out relevant area. So that's why I'll only be looking for buys above that level if we're just going to continue. Otherwise, what I'm going to be looking for is the pullback at the current level that we're at, so rejection of a previous level of resistance. Don't know what this is doing here. And basically something along the lines of a pullback, come down to a previous level of support, maintain that bullish market structure. So what we don't want to see is GJ get below this level, because then it's going to flip that 30-minute structure bearish. So what I want to see is us respect that 30-minute level, because at the moment we're very strong bullish on GJ. And if what we can do to get the best possible buy areas on GJ is come down to a previous level of support and then get that bullish continuation. So buying at the low in the uptrending market, or buying at support in the uptrending market. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, if we are going to get these continuation buys above this level, we do obviously still have to move quite far. And at that stage as well, what I would be expecting is a little bit of exhaustion, so maybe a pause or a little bit of a pullback, and then we can get that bullish continuation. What we basically want to see is this continuous higher high, higher low sort of trend, and then we know that, okay, the buys are going to be really easy to scale into, and we're definitely going to find the buying opportunities. It may only come if we get the pullback now-ish or in between sessions, so inter-session pullback, then we get the continuation during New York Open. That could also come into play, or pre New York. Let me also make these smaller. GJ bullish, yeah, super data wolf. GJ is bullish, very bullish. We do need to remember though that if we continue bullish, we're going to come up to this level, which actually we're at right now, of this daily resistance level, and we know how strong daily resistance levels are. So we just need to be aware of that. If we can get a candle close above that daily resistance level, well then, you know, through the next week, I can definitely see us moving up towards this resistance level over here. It's obviously just going to take time. It's also the beginning of the year. So I do think that this is now a good time that volume is going to start pushing back into the market. And then we're just going to be, finding some nice easy entries. The beginning of last year was very, very good for impulse entries. Very good for impulse entries. So we could see that again. Up until about March, it was really, really consistent. Impulse entries were playing out really nicely. Back in Feb, that's what the rate's going to be. Rates are all on the website, my man. I will send that in the chat and you can take a look for yourself. Don't know if that link's going to work. Sometimes YouTube doesn't allow it. It's the same website that we used to use now. Go check it out, I just linked it. If you haven't already, guys, please also remember to leave a like on the stream and subscribe if you're unsubscribed. It definitely helps out a lot, and it's free. Not much really happening right now. The London Open move kind of already played out. Also first day kind of back trading. I took a couple trades on holiday, which wasn't that disciplined of me, but at least they were good trades. It was really good setups. I did say for me to take a trade, well, you know, not really in my trading month, it was going to have to be a very solid setup, and it was. Also taking one trade today, gold buys. The only thing that's concerning me a little bit about gold and not continuing bullish is we don't have this daily bottom wick. So if we did have the daily bottom wick, I'd feel a lot more confident that, okay, we could be forming some support at this level, because at the moment we're in this big, this big area of wicks on the daily, so these daily wicks. So we can kind of reject anywhere in here. That's how wicks work. And then we could see this bullish continuation to kind of correct this move down, which we had yesterday. Alternatively, we're going to come down and form that bottom wick, and then at that point we'll have our full top wick, and it's going to look something like that, because then this top wick will be a retest of this zone over here, and then we can come and fill these wicks down here, and that will be those potential sells below. It will be lower than 1803.22. At the moment we're just ranging, so gold, if anyone is considering trading gold, just put it away for now, and set a alarm for one of these levels if you'd rather do that. As yeah, trading these sorts of ranges can cause a lot of issues. If you guys also aren't part of the Telegram or follow the Instagram, both links are in the description, both free. Telegram is very recently has been, a little bit quiet because of everyone was kind of taking their time off of the trading, but now it's going to be very active again. The Instagram as well is going to be as active as it was towards the end of last year, posting a lot of trade analysis and all that stuff on there. So make sure to follow and join the Telegram if you are interested in anything trading related. Probably going to be live for another 25 minutes or so, guys. So if you do have any charts you want me to check out, any pairs you want me to check out that you possibly trade and want to get another opinion on it, please do ask, or send charts through. You can do that if you just think you go copy link to chart image, and then you send the last little bit in brackets, or whatever those diagonal things are, this little bit. And yeah, also keep in mind, if you are trading gold, NFP week, ADP as well on Wednesday, so tomorrow. Also, I think every day there honestly is a red folder on the dollar this week, because today we have obviously this manufacturing PMI and job openings, so that you got to take into consideration is a little bit later. So it's going to be after New York open that. Then tomorrow we got the ADP. Also can be very high impact just based on the numbers and how correct the estimations are here. And then on Thursday, services PMI. So that's another red folder for the dollar. And then obviously on Friday we have the NFP, unemployment rates on the CAD as well. The Canadian. Tomorrow is also Italian bank holiday, so it shouldn't really have much of an effect on the euro, even though it is related to the euro. It really won't affect that much. Happy New Year, Pablo. Good morning. Welcome. Hope you had a good New Year's, ready to take on 2022. So yeah, for me guys, this whole range here, I know it's a really big range, but for me that is a no trade range. Not interested in it at all. I explained it a little early on in the stream. If we look left, it's just terrible price action and resistance after resistance after resistance. So there's no trading range in here because of this previous level of basically consolidation. When price has previously been in here, and this is probably the best way to think about price action, when price has previously been in these levels, most recently, we didn't move well at all. We consolidated. So basically, because of how price repeats itself, there's a good chance that we could do that again. Not confirmed, but it's highly probable. So we want to be in areas where price moves very nicely, so cleanly through an area, and then we can basically replicate that up or down, whichever way the first move was. Yeah, the main move has already happened on GJ, so that would have been the buys at London Open. I didn't take them personally, but definitely know a lot of people would have been enticed into taking them. And you know, well done if you did. Well done if you got in even earlier. I know Troy, you said you got in at around these levels over here, so really well done for managing that. And looking at the 4 hour, I know that a lot of people would have been taking buys when we formed some 4 hour support after rejecting a previous level of 4 hour support with this rejection wick. I didn't, but it would have been a really nice early buy entry, especially with that candle confirmation of that 4 hour support forming. I did a pretty similar thing on gold though, with the 4 hour. Cheers, Troy. Thank you so much for being in the stream. I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, trade safely for the rest of today. And yeah, thank you very much. Probably got about another 15-20 minutes here, guys, so not much happening at the moment. Gold's a disaster, so again, not worth trading. No trade range over here. And I would say GJ, this for me, the whole thing is a no trade range. So wait for it to pull back. Ideally, what you'd want to see on GJ is once we've had this big strong push, rejection at a previous level of resistance, and then let's come back down to either this resistance level and form some support, or come down to this support level, form some support, maintain that bullish overall market structure, because then we'll still be 4v0 in bullish market structure, meaning that buyers are definitely in charge of the market. There's no doubts about that. That's what we currently have, but we need to respect 155.786 to maintain that level. And then what we can start doing is scaling into some positions. Obviously, we need confluences such as the clean candles to the left, and then obviously breaking some lower time frame resistance. No decks. No. What will be even more enticing on GJ is if we get a stronger push, because then basically what that does is it gives us more range to get that like strong pullback, so that exhaustion, and then see that continuation. So the bigger the push up, then we can maybe have a nice strong pullback, and then there's going to be more range to trade into. So what's in the course? Go read the stuff on the website, bro. You have eyes. Go look. There is, I don't know, a couple, I'd say more like 10 plus hours of content, recorded videos, constant new videos coming out weekly, especially this year. That's something I'm going to make a priority, is getting new videos out weekly for the members. Obviously then trading New York with the members as well. That's something I don't do with on the YouTube channel, is trade New York, because I do try to keep that for the members. And then obviously, you know, access to all the stuff in the members lounge, which is on the website. And that's chart analysis, post-trade analysis, and not the stuff that goes on the free Telegram group. It's the more in-depth and all of it, rather than just, you know, little, the picked ones. Cop then. Okay, Dex. Still moving up on GJ, guys. Not really much you can do here. Definitely no entry at this level. Well, for me, it's buying too high up for sure. So I'm just rather going to wait for a pullback. If we look on the higher time frames, 4 hour, we finally broken out of this area. Clean candles to the left. We are on a 4 hour resistance level right now. But I think that there's a good chance that we're just going to continue. No, Dex. Of course I want you there. I want you to actually take Forex seriously and not mess around like you've done previously. I see Frederick sent something in the... Well done, Frederick. One trade a day. You can stick to one trade a day, one session a day, 1 or 2 pairs. There's no excuse to not be profitable. I'm very profitable at that. So I definitely think that if you manage to do that, then you'll be good. Because now you're unemployed. Go claim unemployment. They'll pay you a little bit a month. 10-15 minutes left, guys. Maybe 5. There's not much happening, to be honest. Can't really find a trade set up for everyone. The move was definitely GJ buys at London Open. Other than that, gold, like I said earlier, terrible. Would be clean buys at 156.498 on GJ. 156.498 exactly. So from 156.498 and above, if we go look left here, so this is representing the most relevant resistance. You can see to the left here we have clean candles. So what that means is that this to trade into is going to be a lot better than trading into an area of consolidation, because we know how resistance works. Normally we respect resistance, but if our previous resistance above this level is only up here, we should only reject once we get up there, making this nice and clean to trade into. Whereas if we take a trade here, and again, we reject resistance level, so we break this resistance level, the previous resistance level above this level over here is right here. And that trading range is not going to be enough to actually be valid to trade in. So what we want to do is we want to look for big ranges where there's clean candles to the left and most recent price action. So this behind this price action here doesn't matter. Sorry, let me clean this because this looks shocking. To try to explain this better. So we only look at the most recent price action, which would be these clean candles. We don't take into consideration previous price action before that. Because the last time price was in this price area, it moved down in one clean move. So we're expecting it to come up pretty easily. Not necessarily that it's going to be in one clean move, but it's going to make its way up in this area. So that's one confluence. Then obviously you've got structure on your side, candle confirmations, candle formations, you know, high volume times, all that sort of stuff. So you need to take all the confluences into consideration. Should be good end of January. Dex, it's pretty good most of the summer, to be honest. So yeah. So that's the importance of trading clean candles, guys. You don't want to trade into these choppy consolidation areas because supports and resistances are made to be respected, basically. Which is why when I say let's wait for a candle close, what this candle close tells us about this resistance is it's no longer being respected. If we do what we're doing on gold and we get to this resistance level, and you can see, okay, now we didn't close above that level and we're forming more resistance at that level, that means the resistance is being respected. Same as the support. Support level formed here, came to it again, formed support at that level, formed support at that level again. What that tells us is that this is a strong support level. It's being respected over and over again. What a close below this level would mean is that, okay, we are no longer respecting the support level. So what does that indicate to us? That there's a good chance that we're going to go to the previous support level below that marked out level. And that's going to be over here. And then how we determine whether or not that's a trading range is how many pips is this range from this support level to this support level. So that's where we get our ruler out. And if you look here, that is 18 pips. So for me personally, I like anything above 12, I would say. So 15 to 20 is like really good. And then obviously anything over 20 is amazing. Anything below 10 is definitely not tradable in my opinion, just because of spread and things like that. And 10 and above is not bad. But I would say if you have anything over 15 and definitely anything over 20, it's a really, really good trading range. But this is just, again, guys, the importance of understanding support and resistance. Respect, 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 respect. And what this is called now is a consolidation, a no trading range, which is why I have that marked out here. Because if you're going to be taking a trade at the break of this support level over here, how many pips is it going to be to this support level? It's going to be 7 pips. And now you have no confirmation whatsoever that price is going to continue through that support level. Because if we've been told twice before that we've respected that support level, what's telling us now that we're going to break through it? Nothing. What's going to tell us that we're going to go break through it is if we get a candle close below that level. That's going to indicate to us that, okay, we no longer respect the support. Same as a resistance. If we get a close above this level, we are no longer respecting the previous level of resistance. And that means we can go and test the previous level of resistance above our marked out level. That's how you got to look at support and resistance. And that's very important when it comes to marking out trading ranges, marking out your trading zones, and that sort of thing. This is a trading range right here. Why? Because it's above 15 pips. Clean candles to the left. If we get a candle close below that level, it's going to indicate that we can retest or test that previous level of support again. Do you still do close below, wake up and break the low? Yeah, so that would be one of the types of entries that I look for. So that's a break and retest on a very minor time frame or a lower time frame, because if you get that wick up often on the 5 minutes or the 1 minute, that'll be your support forming, let's say, at a previous level of resistance, or your resistance forming at a previous level of support. Well, my favorite entry at the moment is something which I'll be looking for on GJ today, which is you obviously have this move, so a strong bullish move. You could also have a strong bearish move. And then what I want to see is a pullback to a previous level of support or level of resistance, form support at that level, and then buy it at the break of the support which had formed, and then retest the highs. Because 90% of the time that you create a high or low, you're going to retest that high or low, one way or another. So as you can see now, we're creating new highs. So if we come up to this level of resistance, I want to see a pullback, and then I'll find an entry to retest that high. It's a way of buying at the lows in uptrending markets. So I hope that does make sense, because you can't buy at the lows in a downtrending market, because basically what's going to end up happening is, if you're in a downtrending market and you're trying to buy at the lows, you're going to be wanting to buy at this level over here. So now you go in a little bit of profit and you think, happy days, you know, I've got the best possible entry, optimal entry. What ends up happening is you come up to a level of previous support. That turns into resistance, because guess what? We're in a downtrending market. There's more sellers in the market. And then we continue to retest low first. That would be this low, which was created over here. Create new lows. That's what's going to happen. That's the importance of trading with the trend. So you can't buy at support in a downtrending market. You want to be buying at support in an uptrending market, because then it makes sense. That's going to be your higher low. And then you've got to go on to create a higher high. So the importance of trend. Another situation you'll have is people will see support form here, and then they'll see this little micro trend up like this, and they'll be thinking, okay, this is obviously now we're in an uptrending market as well, because we have this little trend going up over here. Issue with that is, if this is our low, this is where structure will flip bullish. So there's no way that this then has gotten above this level, so we're still bearish in market structure. This is all something called micro trend, right? It's not your overall trend, it's your minor trend, your micro trend. So buyers will be scaling in here at all the support levels, thinking that, okay, this is, you know, optimal entries, we're going to get back up to these levels up over here. But then what happens is, then when we do get to that point where if we get the close above structural flip, we end up respecting that level. And then what ends up happening is you get something like this. And you come back down, start going with the overall trend again, the major trend. And then you caught on the wrong side of the market. So that's just the importance of market structure, guys. A little quick breakdown. Something, again, I love trading with is market structure, understanding market structure, being on the right side of market structure. The oldest saying in the book is the trend is your friend. And, you know, there couldn't be a more correct saying than that. So that is just a little bit of education, which I hope does help someone out there. Which is, again, why when I start the streams off every day, guys, I always put here what the overall market structure of the pair that I'm trading is. So I only trade pound, yen, and gold. So you'll see on all the streams, I always put what the market structure is. So even if this is a 3v1, it's going to be very tough for me to actually want to take a sell, because that still means that there's more buyers than there are sellers in the market. So why would I want to be in a market taking trades against the trend? So taking trades against the majority in the market. I wouldn't really want to be, would I? So that's why always get your market bias determined before you start trading your session, and then try find entries with obviously all the confluences you take into consideration, but try make sure it's on the right side of your overall bias. I mean, I think that, in my opinion, is the safest way of trading the markets. About 5 minutes left, guys. Then it's going to be 11 o'clock my time, so probably going to call it a day for the London session. Obviously going to be looking at the charts a little bit for New York, pre-New York, and going to see if we can find a move. I did take an Asian session trade, which was really early my time. It was a buy stop which I had set overnight, and worked out perfectly. Basically based on 4-hour support level on gold as well as structure. You know, we're still bullish in structure on the 4-hour time frame on gold. That forming this 4-hour support. Then we look at the candle formations. You can see here we respected the low of the previous 4-hour candle. That tells us again sellers' pressures is dying out a little bit, and then by not respecting the high of this 4-hour candle, it tells us buyers' pressures back in the market. So my buy stop was set above this 4-hour candle. It is on the Instagram, my Instagram story on the King's Capital channel, which the link is in the description, as well as a free Telegram if you guys are interested in joining that. So yeah, I put that entry on Instagram if anyone wants to check that out. And please, if you guys are interested, do join the Telegram. A lot of stuff does go up on there. You can see here, if we do start forming some resistance on the 4-hour, there could be a nice chance of a retest of this low over here, and then maybe some continuations, because then on the daily, what that'll give us is obviously our top wick on the daily candle, which is a retest of this whole zone. And then if we break the previous daily candle low, there's a very, very good chance that we can get that bearish continuation, because we've now closed below this 4-hour support level. Sorry, daily support level. But if you're gonna be taking any risky trades on gold, I'd say waiting for a candle close below here I would still think it's a little bit risky to retest this level. It's just not a very clean looking trade. Of course, on the lower time frames there is clean candles, so that does make sense. But then trading here below this level down to this level is also going to be a little bit tricky. But I think once we get below the 1798.45 level, which is yesterday's daily low, sells are going to come really easily. Because then again, we'll have our daily top wick, which is going to be the retest of these levels. So you can see here, what we're doing is basically forming resistance at this previous level of support. And then what that is basically your break and retest. So break, retest, continuation. Hope that makes sense. Where was the stop loss on your trade on gold? Below the 4-hour candle. Had to find a technical level. Of course, it is hard when you're not actively managing the trade. That's what I obviously was a little bit worried about. When you do set a buy stop overnight or something like that, it's pretty risky. But just because of the overall structure and the analysis on the 4-hour time frame respecting the support level, by technicals we shouldn't have broken below this level, or this level at that. What I did have is, I don't know if you guys use any risk management tools or anything like that, but I had something called partial stop losses. So you get partial TPs and you get partial stop losses. So what a partial stop loss does is it closes positions if you start going into loss. So that way, even if my stop loss was set below here, I was never going to lose that full amount because I had a partial stop loss set at higher levels. So that if things did go really wrong, I was definitely not losing the full amount. So it's kind of like managing your trade, pre-managing your trade, basically. And if you guys are looking at getting in any risk management tools, I would certainly suggest Magic Keys. That's exactly what I use, Magic Keys. It's really, really good. This is, this should show up. This, I just use this. You can get a physical version as well, but this is it. So basically you can set, you know, partial TPs, open your trade, close half, close custom. You can set the custom to whatever percentage you want. So for me, when I go 10 pips in profit or sometimes 15 pips in profit, I click close custom. It'll close my percentage. I often close 80 to 90% of my original position and then leave the rest to run. Then you just click stop loss at entry, put your stop loss at your entry. You're then no longer risking any of your profits, because what will happen then is if price comes back down to entry, you're taken out of the trade. Yeah, very, very simple to use. At first, it obviously is a little bit complicated or seems a little bit tough, but once you get used to it, I promise you can't trade without it. This keeps your losses way, way down. Probably, I would say if you get good at using this, you'll be able to cut your losses 50-60%. So definitely something that if anyone here is looking at improving their risk management or finding it easier, basically making it easier for yourself to trade, definitely invest in this. It's, I think, $30, something like that. So nothing too hectic. I think I'll look to purchase that when I start trading big lots for sure. But it is also very important, no matter, I mean, unless it's a 0.01 lot, because then I don't think you can actually close partials on a 0.01. Anything higher than that, even if it's a 0.1 lot, it's very important to, from the smaller lot sizes, understand how to manage risk. So when you see, if you're in a trade and you see 5-minute highs and lows start being broken, that's when you need to know, okay, we're no longer respecting certain levels, we need to start managing our risk, closing half position, closing partials, that sort of thing. So no matter what size how small your lot size is, obviously if it is the minimal lot size, so a cent lot, then I don't think you can actually close on that. I think you have to close a full position. But yeah, when you start using bigger lots, you most definitely need that. Most definitely. Coming down on gold a little bit, which is great to see. Kind of still want to form some resistance on GJ and get that pullback to this support level. I think these two levels over here could be very relevant, to be honest. And then could basically look something like this. That'll be pretty good to see. So yeah, only looking for buys today on GJ, guys. From obviously a low level. If we don't get that pullback anytime soon, the only place I'll be looking for buys above is 156.498. That's because we have our clean candles to the left, and there's a nice lot of trading range up until about 156.967. Not saying that this will all happen in one move, but once we get above this level, it's telling us we're not respecting the resistance level at 156.498, and if we don't respect the resistance level, often it indicates that there's going to be bullish continuation. So that's what I'll be looking for on GJ. Gold, remember guys, I'm not looking, okay, you can see on gold we just pushing. I'm not really looking for much in this range area over here, but sells below, I'd say once we start flipping some 4-hour structure, the sells would be great. What delay on this vid? I don't know, it's on low latency, ultra low latency, so it should be maybe a few seconds. Should not be too bad. So gold is just going with this push at the moment. We'll see if we can come down to the support level, and in that case I do think that once we start flipping this daily candle bearish, there's going to be a really good chance of that sell continuation, and especially if we break yesterday's daily low, because now what this top brick tells us is that this is that retest. Remember, we had that support level on the 30, now it's formed resistance at that level. So this is your break and retest. If you go to the line chart, you can see this was the break, we had that retest, still retesting, and now we could have that bearish continuation. Still at the moment, guys, took a trade today, took my one trade today, so not really interested in taking much else until I see a setup that I really like, and I honestly do think that's going to come on GJ later today, maybe during New York. Please, if you haven't, guys, remember to like the video, subscribe if you aren't subbed, and check the description for all the other links to things to join. I've said it too much already, but yeah, all free, so, and it helps a lot, so thanks. Slightly off topic, what's your setup in terms of hardware? What size screen do you use? I have two 24-inch screens. One is a 165 hertz and one's a 144 hertz. PC, not too sure what the specs are in there. But yeah, just 2 screens. When I'm just trading, obviously use the one for MetaTrader and the other one for analysis. And then when I'm streaming, the ones obviously what you guys see and other ones for chat and all that. Cheers, Luke. Thanks so much for being in the stream. Have a great day as well. I will see you tomorrow, same time. Still trying to come down on gold. Remember, there is often that negative correlation between gold and GJ. So often when gold does move down, GJ moves up and the opposite way around. It isn't really something which is too well followed, but a lot of people have obviously picked up on it and a lot of people talk about it. I don't trade like that too often, but it does happen very frequently. But yeah, guys, I think it's just after 11 my time, so I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for everyone for watching. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Trade safely. Again, guys, only looking for buys on GJ. Gold's a bit tough to trade at the moment. Also be aware of NFP week, so gold can act crazy. GJ, on the other hand, I think is going to be very safe for buys. I don't try and take the counter trend sell, basically trading the pullback. Rather wait for the pullback and then get the buys back up to the top. That's what I'll be doing. Remember, you want to trade with the trend. Otherwise, trade safely, guys, for the rest of the day. Thanks again. Please do remember to leave a like if you haven't already. And I'll be live same time again tomorrow. London session throughout the whole year, same time. So yeah, have a great rest of your day, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow. So yeah, thanks very much. Cheers.